Global War 36 enthusiast here with Operation 20 Core, turn 15.5, Commonwealth. It is July 1943. The Commonwealth has 2 tech rolls. First, I tried for advanced artillery at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 9, so I succeeded. I advanced to stage 3. Second, I tried for amphibious doctrine at a 7 or higher. PB generated a 10, so I succeeded. That's 2 turns in a row, getting 2 successes on fire for tech with Great Britain. Let's go to purchases. Okay, Great Britain has 33 IPP to spend. I will purchase 3 militia for 6, 3 infantry for 9, that's 15, 2 anti-aircraft artillery for 8, that's 23, and 1 fighter for 10, that brings me to 33. FEC has 15 IPP to spend. I will upgrade 1 militia to an infantry for 2, 2 militia for 4, that's 6, 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4, that's 10, and then I will complete construction of a fortification in British Malaya for 5, bringing me up to 15. Anzac has 7 IPP to spend. Purchase 1 anti-aircraft artillery for 4, and save 3 IPP. Combat. Okay, first I'm going to try to get this Italian sub down in C zone P41. So from the Carolinas, 1 seaplane will come out on map to A41. That's 1, 2, 3. And then from C zone A25, 1 Anzac destroyer will come off escort duty and move 1, 2, 3 and pair with the seaplane to try to hunt the sub. So that'll be 1. I did not do a good job of putting that on screen, sorry. That'll be 1 combat. Next, Abyssinia will have a walk-on here. 1 infantry from Abyssinia will walk into Nubia. That's 1 up for Great Britain, 1 down for Italy. Great Britain goes to 30, Italy drops to 8. All right. Next, from C Zone I4, there's a fighter in that task force here. It's on this light carrier. This guy will come off and fly to Sumatra. Get a flight stand. So that's 1 fighter here in Sumatra. These fighters will fly out and then they'll fly back. The 2 that are in British Malaya will fly to Sumatra, so I'll have 3 fighters there. All 3 of those fighters are going to land in British Malaya. Okay, so C Zone I4. Everything except the light carrier is going to move over to C Zone I13. So that is 2 battleships, 1 battlecruiser, 2 British light cruisers, 1 Anzac light cruiser, 3 destroyers, 1 torpedo boat destroyer, and these 2 naval transports. They will pick up 1 infantry from British Somaliland, 1 infantry and a marine from Italian Somaliland, and all these guys will move up to I7. Then they'll pick up this marine from southern India, and then they'll move a 2nd space to I12 and a 3rd space to I13. So this task force is going to be in I13 with the 2 naval transports. And then they'll drop off 2 infantry, 2 marines into Sumatra and bombard with 2 battleships and 1 battle cruiser. And then they got the 3 fighters. So that will be my 3rd combat, and that's all I got. That's jungle there, but it's not going to affect anything. So I just have really 2 combats. I had the walk-in in Nubia, but there's nothing to roll there. So I'll have the attempt to kill the Italian sub, and then the battle in Sumatra. So let's look at the Italian sub. I've got one seaplane at 3, miss, and one destroyer at 4. Hit, yes. Okay, that's good. So we have the sub gets to retaliate against the Anzac destroyer, and it misses with a 5. So the Italian sub is gone. All right. And just while I'm over here, that seaplane's going to land in Puerto Rico. Flight stand for that guy. All right, let's do the battle in Sumatra. I've got 2 battleship bombardments at 4. I think no matter how you call it, this is going to be a hit. So it'd either be a 1, 4, or 2. So that's the end there. Oh, no. I've still got 1 bombardment with a battlecruiser at 3. Okay, so I kill a militia and an infantry, but 2 militia. I kill 2 militia, and he still has an infantry. So I have 4 at 2, which is my 2 infantry and 2 marines. Miss, and then I've got 3 at 6. Okay, got enough hits. He's got 1 at 4, and it'll be a marine if he hits. Oh, it has almost rolled over to a 4. Okay, so that Sumatra's taken without losing anything. That's worth 2. Let me get a rondelle. It's taken by combined forces. So it's going to be, well, actually, I think it's, yeah, FEC Marine and a British Marine, and then 2 British infantry. So I have to track these Marines separate since 1 is British and 1 is FEC. And then that all 3 fighters go back to British Malaya. Okay. I don't know if I had British Malaya, so you could see the fighters landed there. Okay. Non-combat movement. Let's come over here to London. See what's happening. From London, 2 infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, and 2 fighters will all move to southern England. From southern England, 1 fighter is going to fly all the way down to Gibraltar. I'll show that in a moment. From southern England, 2 naval transports are going to leave port carrying 1 airborne, 2 marines, and 1 anti-aircraft artillery. And they're going to move down to Sea Zone A44. Let's go down there. Meanwhile, 1 naval transport from Gibraltar is going to leave port to A44 and then go up to A21 and go in port in southern England. So the net effect is that 1 extra transport is going to end up down here in Gibraltar. So there'll be 2 here in Gibraltar and 1 up in southern England. And you can see the fighter that I brought down from southern England. So I'm dropping off 1 airborne and 2 marines. So that brings me up to 5 marines in Gibraltar. All right. And I got the airborne there in Gibraltar. Okay, and I've got the anti-aircraft artillery. Okay, from Gibraltar, one medium bomber is going to fly down to Italian Somaliland. So let's trace the flight. 1 to M2, 2 to M4, 3 to M8, 4 to I5, 5 to I4, and 6 lands in Italian Somaliland. All right. A good thing to check from I-35, one submarine will move to M4. From M4, one submarine will move to I4. So 1 to M8, 2 to I5, 3 to to I4. Malta. Okay. So from Malta, one naval transport will leave port to Sea Zone M4 carrying one Marine. It will move over to M2 and pick up one medium armor from Gibraltar. And then move over to M8. So that's its second move is to M4, third move is to M8. Then it'll drop off the medium armor in Transjordan and drop off the Marine in Lower Egypt, and then go import in Lower Egypt. From Malta, the heavy cruiser and destroyer will leave port to Sea Zone M2. They will move over to I4 and then go import in Aden. From Sea Zone M4, the fighter that is on that light carrier is going to fly to Italian Somaliland. Okay. From M4, the light carrier will go to Aden and go on port in Aden. Over here on the western side of Africa, from Sierra Leone, an infantry will move to French Guinea. Down here in Portuguese East Africa, the infantry will move up one space. From Tanganyika, one infantry will move to Italian Somaliland, I think. Or should I go to Abyssinia? I'll go to Italian Somaliland. All right. From Portuguese East Africa, one medium armor will move to Italian Somaliland. All right. I think that's all the moves over or down there. Here in Western Egypt, from Western Egypt, 2 infantry will move to Lower Egypt. From Lower Egypt, 2 infantry will move to Transjordan. From Transjordan, 2 infantry will move to Southern Iraq. So the amoeba move. From Southern Iran, 2 infantry and 1 medium armor will move to Punjab. And those will be FEC infantry moving over to Punjab. All right, from Kuwait, 1 naval transport leaves port to Sea Zone I6. It will pick up 1 FEC infantry and 1 anti-aircraft. Well, let me back up. From Lower Egypt, 1 anti-aircraft is going to strategic rail move using both the African strategic rail and the Asian, or the Middle Eastern strategic rail capacity to southern Iran. So this guy is an anti-aircraft artillery getting railed to southern Iran. This one chip is from under this FEC. This other chip is an anti-aircraft artillery chip. It's the one that was originally there. And then this guy will go 1 to I-7, 2 to I-12, 3 to P-50. Drop these two guys off. So adding 1 FEC infantry, which I thought I was being clever by having a chip, but I don't have any FEC infantry in British Malaya. So 1 FEC infantry and adding another British anti-aircraft artillery. All right, that's what gets added to British Malaya, and then it will go in port in British Malaya. All right, let me double check all my notes here. Let's see. All right, back in C-Zone I-4, there's 1 light carrier that got left behind. I just took it off the task force marker, so it didn't move, if you remember, over to I-13 with the other stuff. So it's going to go 1 to I-7, 2 to I-12, 3 to P-50, and then go in port with the Anzac Naval Transport there in British Malaya. Okay. And then all I have is down in Australia. From Queensland, 1 motorized infantry is going to move to Sydney. And then from Queensland, 2 militia, 3 infantry are going to move south to New South Wales. So there's nothing left in Queensland. I'm running away. That's what I do best. And my last move is from South Australia. 1 Anzac Naval Transport will leave port to C-Zone P-70, carrying 2 infantry. It will strategic naval move 5 spaces. So 1 to P-69, 2 to P-61, 3 to P-59, 4 to P-50. Is that right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. And then drop off the 2 infantry in British Malaya and go in port in British Malaya. That'll bring me up to 3 Anzac infantry there in British Malaya. All right. So let's review if there's anything I'm missing. Queensland, got the carrier. Okay, placement of units. So down here in Sydney, I am adding 1 anti-aircraft artillery. Bring me up to 2. I saved 3. I collect 5. So I'll have 8 for next turn. FEC. Let me move over and put that on camera. In British Malaya, we finish the fortification. We add another anti-aircraft artillery to British Malaya. That's an FEC anti-aircraft artillery. And then, let's see, we do a militia upgrade militia in British Malaya. So that gets me another infantry. It's an FEC infantry. And then that leaves us 1 militia left, and that will go in southern Iran. Okay. Now we'll place units for Great Britain. Everything's going here in England. So in northern England, putting a fighter. In London, I'm putting 1 militia, 3 infantry, and 2 anti-aircraft artillery. So 1 militia gives me up to 4. And then 3 infantry, 2 AA. Then I'm going to put another militia in southern England. That gets me up to 4 there. Do a little shuffling here, wasting the viewer's time. All right. And then collect income. I don't think I collect income I didn't do the FEC. FEC's at 12 plus 2 bonus income, so they have 14. And then Great Britain is at 30. Oh, I didn't go up 2 for Sumatra. I go up 2 for Sumatra and Japan drops 2. So I have Great Britain at 32 and Japan at 46 for Sumatra. And that, let's see, that brings me to 32 plus 3 bonus income, so 35 in the bank. All right, let's do Free France. Free France has 9 IPP to spend. I am going to purchase 2 Foreign Legion for 8 and save 1. I don't have any combat movement, non-combat movement. From Gibraltar, the Free French fighter is going to fly to Lower Egypt. Oh, I do have one move. I wanted to move this airborne infantry with the air transport, fly it to Calcutta. I didn't do anything with the French, didn't roll anything, so it didn't affect that. All right. So we will move from Sudan. We'll move 3 infantry, 2 Foreign Legion into Nubia with the 2 anti-aircraft artillery. So move 7 infantry from Sudan into Nubia. From Chad, 1 Foreign Legion will strategic rail move to Nubia, taking that river. And then the other 2 will move into Sudan. From I-4, 1 sub will move to I-13. From Aden, 1 Free French torpedo boat destroyer will leave port to I-4 and move 1 to I-7, 2 to I-12, 3 to P-50, and go in port in British Malaya. Okay. Is that everything for the French? Yep, I think that's everything. Okay, so place units. I will place the 2 Foreign Legion in Syria. Collect income. Free France is at 7. I saved 1, so I'll have 8 for next turn. Disposition. In northern England, 1 militia, 1 fighter. In southern England, 4 militia, 3 infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, 3 fighters. In port in southern England is a battleship, a coastal offense ship, a destroyer, and a naval transport. There's also a seaplane in southern England. I don't know if I mentioned the 3 fighters. Okay. In London, 4 militia, 3 infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 American strategic bomber. In Sea Zone A21, boy, do I really need to have that guy on escort duty? I think I might as well. Let me think about this for just a second. He has a +1 with his seaplane. I have a +3, so he's at -2. He rolls a 6 and I roll a 1. 3 points of damage. Yeah, I don't need to be there. I'm going to go in port in southern England. I'll join the other guys in port. All right. Let's see. We were doing disposition. That's right. Puerto Rico has a seaplane. Sea Zone A41 has an Anzac destroyer. In Gibraltar, in port, are 2 British naval transports. Gibraltar has a militia, an airborne infantry, 5 Marines, 2 medium armor, 1 anti-aircraft artillery, 1 fighter. French Guinea has an infantry. Cameroon has a Free French militia. 2 foreign legions in Sudan. In Nubia, whoops, I added the 1 guy here under this infantry. That was incorrect. He is a foreign legion that railed. So I have 3 Free French infantry, 1 British infantry, 3 foreign legion, 2 French anti-aircraft artillery. Tanganyika has an infantry. Italian Somaliland has an infantry, a medium armor, a British fighter, a British medium bomber, an American heavy strategic bomber. Aden has a light carrier, a heavy cruiser, a destroyer in port. I-4 has a submarine. I don't think I said... Oh, I forgot to place 1 more militia with the British. It goes in Malta. Okay, so I have a militia in Malta, a submarine, and a coastal sub in Sea Zone M4. In Cyprus, there's a militia. The Free French have 2 Foreign Legion in Syria. Southern Iraq has 2 infantry. Transjordan has 2 infantry and a medium armor. Lower Egypt has a militia, 4 infantry, a marine, an anti-aircraft artillery, a French fighter, a French medium bomber, a naval transport in port on the northern side, and a fortification on the western side. I think I already did Nubia. I think I've done everything down south over here. Okay, southern Iran has 2 militia, 4 British infantry, 1 FEC infantry, 1 Foreign Legion, 1 British anti-aircraft artillery. Punjab has 2 FEC infantry, 1 medium armor. Calcutta has 2 militia, 6 infantry, the FEC, 1 British airborne infantry, 2 FEC anti-aircraft artillery, 1 airborne or air transport. Ceylon has a militia. British Malaya has 2 militia, 3 fighters, a light carrier, British, Free French torpedo boat destroyer, 2 Anzac naval transports in port, a fortification, and then has 1 British infantry, 2 FEC infantry, 3 Anzac infantry, 7 Gurkhas, 1 FEC artillery, 2 Anzac artillery, 3 British anti-aircraft artillery, 2 FEC anti-aircraft artillery. Sumatra has 2 infantry, 1 FEC Marine, 1 British Marine. The 2 infantry are British. Sea Zone I-13 has 2 battleships, a battle cruiser, 2 British light cruisers, 1 Anzac light cruiser, 3 British destroyers, 1 British torpedo boat destroyer, 2 British naval transports, 1 Free French submarine. New South Wales has 2 militia, 3 infantry. Sydney has 3 militia, 1 airborne infantry, 1 motorized infantry, 2 anti-aircraft artillery fortification. North Island has 1 militia. Next up is Panzer J with 15.7, Italy.